My name is Keenan Fox. Thank you for taking the time to review and consider our analysis of Goodwill Industries of Middle Tennessee. We will begin our discussion with strategy. Goodwill is a great example of a broad, low cost strategy, which is when a company lower costs so that it can lower prices and still have a profit. Goodwill is a not for profit organization, so the money that they make after all expenses goes towards their primary mission, which is to provide employment and training opportunities for people who have disabilities and others who have trouble finding and keeping jobs. To do this, they have the Career Solution Centers, which is where they provide one on one job and trade training. Most of the people employed by Goodwill come through the Career Center. Goodwill attacks the market with this strategy very well because they are able to provide their product to their consumers at the lowest price because all of their products are donated to them by different people and organizations within the community. This also means that they do not have to worry about production costs. So their biggest expense product wise is the storing and distribution, which is not a large issue. This is true because they own their donation centers, which are the storing hubs, and they own their stores, which are the distribution hubs, where people can come in and purchase these products. Some of the locations in Middle Tennessee are dual hubs because they serve as both a distribution center and store. Therefore, they do not have to worry about transporting the products. So, by not having to pay major expenses, they are able to pass these savings down to the consumers by charging a much lower price for a slightly used product than most other thrift and department stores. This is an idle strategy for Goodwill because they are truly protected against substitutes. Although there are other thrift stores in the market, Goodwill is the only one that uses its revenues and donations to operate its career centers that helps over 1,700 businesses staff their business and train their associates. By understanding this concept, it creates for some people a sense of cause and gives them an additional reason to purchase different products from Goodwill. Although this is the most difficult strategy to accomplish, Goodwill performs it well because not only do people donate to Goodwill, but Goodwill also offers to pick up the used products, and most items donated can be used as a tax write-off, which most individuals take advantage of. They also have the benefit of having such longevity and great success with their career centers because they have actually grown from 6 centers in Middle Tennessee to 29 centers today. There are also many different programs under the Career Solution mission, which includes the Wheels to Work program that has allowed them to give away 7 cars to employees since 2013 when this program began. All in all, Goodwill's cost leadership strategy has been successful. Now I will pass it on to my colleague, Miss Stephanie, to go over the external analysis.
My name is Stephanie Johnson, and I will be going over the external analysis. As far as the current trends, I believe the industry for thrift stores is countercyclical due to performance being correlated with the macroeconomic trends, such as income levels and national employment statistics. Aside from that, the market has performed really well due to the rise of consumers becoming more value conscious and the awareness of reducing pointless waste with the recycling of gently used goods. When the economy and employment rates decline, more people begin to be more aware of how, when, and where they spend their hard earned money. As far as competition, when comparing Goodwill against Walmart, you have to keep in mind that Walmart is currently meeting more of consumers' needs than we can. Your competition mainly lies in the clothing, home goods, appliances, and some electronics. Goodwill can definitely beat them at the price point in which they are selling goods, but when it comes down to availability and convenience, this is where I feel you lack some substance. Customers love the thrill of being able to find what they need at Goodwill for a bargain, but it can be really disappointing and upsetting to come out empty handed. Consumers can find almost everything they may need in store at Walmart, and if they are out of stock, they can order it while in store and have it shipped to their home or pick it back up at the store. When Goodwill is compared to the Salvation Army, you have a more dominant presence in the community compared to them. Your performance and the services you offer outweigh here at home, but they offer more services abroad. They offer more services at the same times, such as veteran services, prison ministries, hunger relief, emergency disaster services, and elderly services. I feel that some consumers may be willing to invest or spend more money with them based on the fact that they can see their money and donations going towards more causes and may be willing to even visit more frequently and donate. Their pricing point is similar, but you can still offer more products in store. When compared to Dollar General, I believe you have the upper hand, and in the clothing department, you have more variety and selection to choose from and more to offer. You give customers the opportunity to purchase goods online and offer weekly sales and discounts to your customers. They also sell goods that you can purchase from your local grocery store and can get in and out without the big hassle of lines. They are also more conveniently located than Goodwill, and you can see one within at least 10 miles of another. As far as opportunities go, with the online shopping sites, this allows you to meet a more target market for consumers due to the rise of online shoppers. There are also younger thrift shoppers than ever, and the stigma of buying things used is going away. You could greatly benefit more in sales and reach more people if you did a little bit more advertising. Flyers in the mail or maybe more TV ads could definitely get the name out there. You could also recruit more college students and organizations to help with some of the projects and programs you are offering. Many students and organizations look for ways to volunteer, and some just want to take part in a good cause, and I think it would be a great turnout. The possibilities and opportunities this could offer participants and volunteers could help with job placement and training. Your threats, I believe, mainly lies within online classified sites such as Craigslist, have made an impact on the industry since they have appeared, but certainly have not put retail stores out of business. In the end, most people find it easier to donate items rather than going through the trouble of posting an ad, meeting with strangers, and haggling over prices. While some high-value items may be more likely to end up on Craigslist, plenty are still finding their ways into Goodwill's donation centers. Customers also like the ability to be able to go and buy goods immediately rather than wait on them to be delivered. Bad publicity is something that Goodwill should be more aware of, especially when social media has been such a huge factor and how fast things quickly can be spread across the internet. A lot of bad reputation has been drawn from speculation on how much higher management makes, how they are portraying their mission and causes. A serious decline in the economy could be detrimental to your business. You have the opportunity for an increase in sales, or worst case scenario, the economic decline is so detrimental that in-store traffic increases and your donations cease. This could leave you with no inventory to sell. This is something that could potentially put you out of business. And now I turn it over to Ed to go over the internal analysis.
I'm Ed Owen, and today I will be covering the internal analysis. Goodwill Industries of Middle Tennessee is a multifaceted company that provides many services to the community. While we believe that most people associate Goodwill with the donation of goods, the scope of the organization is considerably larger than what most people give them credit for. Due to our fluctuating economy and the changing needs of consumers, an examination of the organization's strengths and weaknesses is necessary in order for the organization to adapt to the upcoming generation. The mission of Goodwill is to help people in need reach their full potential through learning and the power of work, which is an admirable mission that evokes a favorable emotion in people towards this nonprofit organization. Goodwill has been touching the lives of Middle Tennesseans since 1957 and are well ingrained within our community. Tennessee is the volunteer state, and people here identify with the same principles Goodwill has set forth in their mission statement, which creates brand loyalty. The Smiling G is one of the most well-recognized logos in the United States. The logo has been around since the mid-1960s, and the greater majority of people within our country that see that logo instantaneously have an opinion of the company. Whether it be good or bad, people know about Goodwill. Goodwill provides an immense amount of services to the community with their job training, placements, and career solution centers. That and Goodwill provides jobs for people with disabilities that may not otherwise have an opportunity to work, fostering a sense of purpose and dignity. The Goodwill retail stores are conveniently located throughout the urban Middle Tennessee regions, providing easy access to low-cost brand name products. Goodwill extends past the point of providing jobs and convenient locations, but they also but they are also environmentally conscious with the ability to appeal to those in our community wishing to live a more sustainable lifestyle. They are able to accomplish this by extending the lives of goods that may otherwise have been thrown away. Unfortunately for Goodwill, there are a lot of people that are unaware of the extent of services that they offer. People already know that they can go to Goodwill to donate, but Goodwill needs to do more extensive marketing of all of the services that they offer to the community. If the marketing of services increased, people would become more aware of the impact that they make, and in our opinion, this should be one of the organization's top concerns at this time. People are just simply uninformed. People can't form an educated opinion of the organization if they don't know all of the information. However, people are aware that top executives within the organization get paid over six-figure salaries, whereas they take advantage of the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938, compensating some of their employees significantly less than minimum wage. Many people believe this to be unfair, and this in turn has created a negative stigma associated with the organization. We spent about 15 minutes within one of our local retail stores, and we were never asked if we needed any help. If Goodwill wants to adequately compete against other low-cost provider retail stores, then they need to find a way to motivate their employees to provide better customer service. If it were possible for an incentive program to be enacted, employees would be more apt to attend to the needs of customers, which would in turn attract more millennials to the retail locations. Millennials seem to be a generation that feel as if they are in some way entitled and must be catered to. So if Goodwill wishes to attract the millennial generation, they must make a greater effort to embrace this me first generation. These areas that we have focused on, in our opinion, are the areas of the organization that require a greater allotment of resources. Even though Goodwill has a considerable amount of strengths, they are typically associated with older generations and inexpensive items of little value. Millennials don't seem to want to be associated with stigmas like that. The best way to reach the millennial generation is to improve their overall perception of Goodwill Industries of Middle Tennessee. And next, I'm going to turn this presentation over to Keenan to cover the financials.
It is Keenan Fox here again, and now let's go over some financial analysis that we've come up with. Well, when looking through the basic financial information that is provided by Goodwill Industries of Middle Tennessee in their annual report, we notice some major changes from 2013 to 2014. First, on the revenue side, Goodwill had a $3 million revenue increase from the sale of goods contributed by the community. With that major increase, sales of goods contributed by the community still makes up 98% of their total revenue. Next, they experienced a major decrease in the financial donations that they received from the United Way and other contributors in the amount of $215,000. The last major change on the revenue side was the small increase, which was $88,573 in the market value of their investments versus the increase from the previous year, which was $209,903. With those changes, the total revenue increased by a little over $4 million. Now let's jump to the expense side. Goodwill devoted almost $1 million more to their career solutions after their $4,855,455 net income from the previous year. They also invested almost $150,000 more to fundraising this year than they did last year. These major changes led to a $7 million increase in the expenses, which led to a net income for the 2014 year of $1,220,791. Goodwill's focus is not about making a profit. It wants to make enough money to cover all expenses and continue to grow its Career Solutions program. So now, let's head it over let's hand it over to the anchor of the team, Miss Hillary. And now she will start out by focusing on strategic concerns, and then she will close us out giving the recommendations on what we think.
Hi, my name is Hillary Keel, and I'm going to be discussing the strategic concerns and recommendations we have for Goodwill. A concern of Goodwill is seeking better techniques to engage millennials. This generation is having a mass impact on businesses today from the fact that more than 1/3 of American workers are classified as millennials, and very few Asian companies have the knowledge of how to handle this change. Before looking into ways we can engage millennials, it's important to first understand who the millennials are. A discussion from Pew Research Center stated a person born after 1980 and aged between 18 and 34 in the year 2015 is considered to be a millennial. The millennial group is growing rapidly, with nearly 53.5 million individuals in the workforce, which has surpassed all other generations, and millennials make up 25% of the population. This trend is going to continually increase, and therefore the question for Goodwill is, how can we better engage millennials and bring them into our stores? There are 3 key points that will guide us through this discussion on ways Goodwill can market to this new generation. First, beginning with recognition, then belonging, and lastly, need for ease. By capitalizing on this market, Goodwill will have the advantage of becoming more and staying relevant in the market. To begin with recognition, millennials have the urge to feel that they are special and unique. That is why it is important for Goodwill to recognize millennials. 3 main ways Goodwill can incorporate recognition is by 1. Hire more of them in your stores. Getting millennials to work in your store is one of the best ways to recognize them. There can be several myths and stereotypes stating that millennials do not care about their work or that they will not do as good of a job as someone who has more experience. However, most young adults have a fire inside that drives them to succeed. They just need that opportunity to release that desire. Also, by incorporating this generation, Goodwill is creating a more diverse workforce that can bring in fresh and new ideas and even rejuvenate the entire team. One of the best forms of advertising is by word of mouth. By having millennials working at the stores, they get a first-hand look at the operations, and of course, millennials talk, so they are likely to spread the good works of Goodwill, which will in return bring others in. The next thing is to empower millennials. Not only employ more millennials, but while they are there, make them feel empowered. It is important for millennials to be an integral part of the company and not someone who is there as temporary work. Allow them to see the benefits and value of working for Goodwill. Millennials want to work at a place that can benefit them, a place that they have opportunities of advancement, and those opportunities are known up front. By recognizing and utilizing the benefits and values of the company, the more millennials will come and stay. The last thing is to create experience. Moving on from an internal perspective, Goodwill can engage millennials through recognition by creating an experience when they shop there. Millennials don't just want to buy stuff. They buy things so they can tell others about it and so they can develop an image for themselves. Give them the opportunity to find that perfect outfit for the annual family Christmas dinner or the perfect piece they can use in their next DIY project. By creating an experience for customers, they are likely to return and become a loyal customer. Moreover, let's move to belonging. We all have a desire to be a part of something bigger, but millennials have this desire more than ever. Belonging is the next way to engage millennials. After hiring more millennials, Goodwill of Middle Tennessee should incorporate a mentor-mentee program, which will enable new staff to have direct access to someone who has had more experience with the company and can share their insight with them. This will build trust amongst the employees, and work will be completed more efficiently. It is proven in many studies that when it comes to purchasing, millennials are twice as likely to support a company if it stands or supports something. Goodwill's image is this. Because of Goodwill's years of history, it is known of Goodwill's mission to serve others and strive to make a difference. It's important for Goodwill to truly embrace this aspect and truly function through this area of support. Lastly, millennials like to be engaged. honest host of a variety of activities that are fun, visual, and social. Ways for this generation can connect with one another. Whether it's just an internal or Goodwill reaches out into the community to target a certain group of people. Goodwill can get involved with schools or campuses or individuals a part of groups that fit that millennial category. And at these events, post photos and use hashtags that people can follow and reminisce on what good memories were made and how Goodwill made those happen. One of the best ways to engage millennials is to make them feel like they belong. The last thing to do is create a need for ease. Engage millennials in enabling them to get that information at ease. Millennials are born in a technologically advanced environment. Therefore, it is important to stay up to date with the latest and newest technologies. By having a presence on almost all of the social media sites, Goodwill has already made leaps on tackling this area. So the best advice is to push for more. Get more followers, whether it's through social media competitions or having links present on receipts. Have exclusives just for people who follow Goodwill on social media. Not only is social media a way to keep things at ease, but incorporating the mindset in the stores is a great example as well. The cashiers or entryways can accommodate this. If there is a long line for the checkout, most millennials will be turned off. Strive for efficient use of customer service. Another emphasis would be to have more displays of popular items or outfits already put together. Millennials like to have everything at their fingertips, so the more Goodwill can make the purchasing process easier, the greater the turnover of millennials will be. Now we're going to be talking about the recommendations that we have aside from just ways to incorporate millennials. So while we conducted our analysis of Goodwill Industries of Middle Tennessee, we discovered several other areas that we feel should be addressed to improve the organization's exposure, image, customer service, and appeal to the millennial generation. We feel a greater emphasis should be placed on the marketing of the services Goodwill offers. Our research has led us to believe that the vast majority of people, especially millennials, are unaware of the complete scope of services provided by the organization. We feel that informing these potential customers about the extent of these services will foster a better perception of the organization, thus making it more likely they become actual as opposed to potential customers. Furthermore, we feel that marketing should consider a campaign on how shopping at Goodwill is a part of living a more environmentally conscious lifestyle. We feel that people will be drawn to this type of message and will be more likely to include Goodwill when making a decision on where to shop. In addition to the ideas we have pertaining to marketing, we also believe that there are a few things that can be done within the retail locations to enhance the overall customer experience and have a greater appeal to the millennial generation. One of these is to improve customer service. This could be done by instituting some rules regarding greeting customers as they walk in and asking if they need any assistance during their time that they are shopping there. If possible, the implementation of some sort of employee incentive program may help with these things. We recognize that this is likely more difficult to do than it would be at some of Goodwill's competitors, but consumers, especially millennials, expect to be catered to on some level. In our opinion, some simple store upgrades could have made a huge impact on the retail locations and make them more appealing to millennials without driving away existing customers. The stores seem somewhat bland and could use some painting to provide some splashes of color. That, accompanied with updating to top 40 music selections, could really change the entire vibe inexpensively. So this concludes our presentation, and again, we would like to greatly thank you for your time on reviewing our analysis.